Okay, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. This is just the little passage that I liked from the book that kind of describes it a little bit for me, gives a idea of the book in a way. One can press a man as far as one likes, but with a woman one must not press too far, for a woman has at heart a great desire to speak the truth. How many husbands who have deceived their wives go comfortably to their graves carrying their secret with them? How many wives who have deceived their husbands wreck their lives by throwing the fact in those same husbands' teeth? They have been pressed too far. In a reckless moment, which they will afterwards regret, bien intendue, they fling safety to the winds and turn at bay, proclaiming the truth with great momentary satisfaction to themselves. It's a quote by Agatha Christie. She's a woman. She said that. So I don't know if that's bad or anything, but that has significance in the book later on. Okay, so the book sort of starts in this village in England. It's a small town. It's called King's Abbot. It is a very peaceful place, very small, quaint. Nothing really special happening there. It's just nice, normal town. And the story is narrated by Dr. James Shepherd, who is the town physician there. He's the doctor, basically. And it kind of starts off with Shepherd discussing this woman named Mrs. Ferrars and her relationship. Basically, she was married before to this man named Ashley Ferrars. And that's a guy, by the way. And he was an alcoholic. And he had just died in the year prior. And she has started having an affair with Roger Ackroyd. And so she basically was planning, her and Roger were planning on being engaged and getting married. But there's some stuff that Ackroyd needs to talk to about with Shepherd. I guess they're pretty good friends. So he invites Shepherd to his house for dinner to discuss this. And to his really, really nice estate. He's very rich. He has a lot of money. So after dinner, they go to his study. They go to Roger Ackroyd's study. And he talks to Mr. Shepherd about how the day prior, Miss Ferrars confided in him that she had actually poisoned her husband, and someone knew, and she was being blackmailed. And in her letter, she said who was blackmailing her. And he had just received this letter from his butler. And he told Dr. Shepherd that he could leave because he needed to read the letter and be able to figure this out. So yeah, he leaves so that he can see what's happening with all that. And later that night, Ackroyd is found with a knife in his neck, and the note that he was given was missing. And there's a retired detective in town. His name is Hercule Poirot. He is a Belgian detective. He was super famous. He was a really, really good detective, but he's retired to King's Abbot to live a quiet life. And he's asked to come to the scene and check stuff out. He decides to go over there and really see what's happening. It should be noted that Roger Ackroyd's house and estate, it's inhabited by a lot of people, butler. There's some people that take care of the grounds. There's a groundskeeper. There's a chef. There's Ackroyd had a brother and he died, so his widow and her child and a few more people. And Poirot kind of just goes around, starts looking around and sees some stuff. There's some comments. He throws some stuff out there. He's really figuring it out, unraveling the whole mystery. And there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of confusing and kind of throws the book for crazy turns. One, this guy named Ralph, he was a worker at the estate, and he has gone missing and no one knows where he is. And his boots were found near the open window of Ackroyd's study, running away from it, his open window. So a lot of people think that it would be him, and he's the one that killed him. There are also not alibis for these two people named Ursula and Raymond. And it's really, really confusing. Later on, Raymond confesses his love for her. It's a whole thing. It's pretty crazy, actually. And a secret marriage is also revealed. It's a really, really crazy turn in the book. Just kind of a lot of wild turns. So it really, really makes it confusing and kind of just not sure what's happening, no idea who the killer is. Poirot comes back from all this investigative work that he's been doing, and he gathers everyone from the estate, including Dr. Shepard. He gathers everyone who's involved in the story into a room to make an announcement, and he talks, and he's like, I know who did this. I know who killed Roger Ackroyd, and if they do not reveal themselves, I will send this information to the police tomorrow. And this causes a crazy amount of uproar. Everyone's like, what? And they try to get him to tell them who it is, and he doesn't say. It's just it's just wild. There's a super, super tense situation. I mean, you feel like anything could happen at any moment. It's just kind of crazy to me how Poirot was able to figure this out. And I was super enthralled at this moment in the book. It was pretty wild. And then the killer's found out. Not supposed to say who that is. And life in town is, I think, presumed to go back to normal. All the people who are innocent have their names cleared, and everything's well. Poirot goes back to his quiet life of growing beets. He does that. That's what he likes doing, I think, in his garden, and he enjoys retirement. And the book ends. Personal connection. For me, this book obviously reminded me of other Agatha Christie books I've read. I've read a few of them. But I would honestly say that it kind of reminds me of the Knives Out movie series, those two ones, The Glass Onion and the original one. They both have a lot of really great moments, and I see similarities between the detective in Knives Out and Hercule Poirot. And they have great moments, really good mystery stories that I really, really enjoyed. I don't really think I identify with any of the characters, but I really liked a lot of them. I thought they were super interesting. I thought Poirot was really funny. He's witty. And the whole process of how he deciphered the mystery, I thought that was super cool. So, yeah. Academic response. This book was not difficult for me to follow in the slightest. It's quite engaging throughout all the stages. I don't think it should be a challenge to most people who are at my age or reading level or above. You have to be able to follow certain things about characters you have to remember, like characteristics about them, certain things. It lends itself better later on in the book when you're trying to figure it out yourself. This book is largely dialogue, so you need to be able to understand the switches between speaking, because sometimes it doesn't always announce that. You need to understand the differences between the characters' style of speech and be able to understand that and change back from all of them to follow it better, just to more cohesively follow the story. Some techniques of Agatha Christie that I found interesting were, like I said, a lot of the story is just straight dialogue. It's a lot of just speaking between the characters. And she put a lot of false clues throughout the entire story that really misled me. I thought I had it quite a few times, but I did not by the end. And I thought that was super cool. I like whenever that happens. I like it being a hard mystery to solve. And I was really, really impressed with it. Recommendations and final thoughts. I would definitely recommend this book. It's a pretty easy read, but it's still extremely engrossing. The language isn't difficult to understand, but it's a really complex story and super entertaining. You probably need to be able to, more extended attention span, because it is a longer book. It's not hard to read or anything, but it's a decently sized book. I think anyone who likes mystery would be super into this book. And, I think most reading fans would like this book at all because it's just greatly written. And I'm a really big fan of it. I think just Agatha Christie fans also, especially, because she has a very specific style that permeates all her stories, I think, from what I've read. And I think it's quite good, and I really enjoy her books. So, Yeah, that's it. Thank you.